Hey, what's the deal? That's your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag. You know what I mean? As of this recording, it is September 8th, 2025, 11:22 p.m. This is the last video of the night. You know what I'm saying? And I have not done this video, this kind of video in forever. Forever. This is the 27th edition of Pro Wrestlers Who Are Ahead of Their Time. Right? And like I said, like it's been a doozy since I've done this video. I'm like, you know what? I didn't know what the fuck to talk about. I seen what happened with AJ Styles. You know what I mean? When, people assuming that, he's talking about Triple H and such. This could be a work shoot. You know what I mean? For all we know, the angle, the promo that he cut saying, Gallows and Anderson isn't there no more. Someone's trying to get me out of WWE. And blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It could be a work shoot. You know what I mean? It clearly could be a work shoot. That's how I take it. But forget about that, right? I was watching. Yeah, I know I was watching. I used to watch WCW hardcore. You know what I mean? Back in the days, especially going towards the 90s. When it was clearly at its infancy, when they used to show WCW Worldwide on Channel 2, you know what I mean? And then they showed it on Channel 9 and such, they showed it on Channel 9, I think, on Saturday nights, like late Saturday nights. I say like 12 a.m., right? They show Worldwide and such. And I used to always watch, Saturday night. I used to always record it in my VCR and such. And there was one guy in that, who wrestled in those programs who not only got a gimmick change that changed his career, right? But he actually fit. He actually fit the whole the whole aura of that gimmick. Billy Kidman is to me, he's one of the greatest cruiserweights of all time, bar none, without a shadow of a doubt. A lot of stuff that you see from athletes today, you know what I mean? A lot of shit that you see from a lot of the indie guys and such is basically because of Billy Kidman. Now, I mean, if Billy Kidman wrestled in today's day and age, the motherfucker would clearly be a star. He was different because, remember, he was the first motherfucker to do the shooting star press. There was nobody doing that shooting star press like him. Nobody. Absolutely fucking nobody. And also his ring attire game changed. It changed the game forever too. It changed the game forever too because when was the last time you seen, before Billy Kidman, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. Who was the last wrestler, before Billy Kidman, right, to wrestle in a tank top, you know what I mean, a wife beater with some denim shorts, you know what I mean? He was that fit him perfectly. Remember, he had the 7-year itch. The 7-year itch was basically the shooting star press, but when he joined Raven's Flock, that's when his overall persona changed forever. You know what I mean? The attire, just everything. He had a fresh look. And then once he left the Flock, remember, he had a clean shirt. He wasn't scratching no more and stuff. He was more serious. Now, I mean, I think he won the Cruiserweight title that, ironically enough, when they broke up that same day, that same night on Nitro, I forgot who he beat. But nonetheless, Billy Kidman was great. The mic work was not there and such, but he could wrestle. Now, I mean, he could truly wrestle. Again, the character work is there. The mic work, not so much. Not so much. Like I said, you can put Billy Kidman in today's, you can legit put Billy Kidman in today's pro wrestling landscape. And honestly, I think he would be a bigger star now than he was back in WCW. Of course, and mind you, he's a WCW original. He graduated from the power plant and everything else. And yes, of course, because it was WCW, they held motherfuckers down, right? His WWF career was okay. You know what I'm saying? Of course, it didn't match what he could do in WCW, but he had a decent career in the WWF, in the WWE. You know what I mean? He used to wrestle on I was gonna say Worldwide Pro. He used to wrestle on Shotgun and not Shotgun. I think it was Heat. Heat, and I think Velocity as well. He basically became a good hand. At that time, I think he won the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. I'm not sure, but his music was fucking amazing. Like it was like low pushed in, doon 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 doon. You know what I mean? Like he was ill. You know what I mean? Billy Kidman was, to me he was very underrated also. You know what I mean? He was very underrated. And looking back when Vince Russo took over, right? Remember, they wanted to do some stuff with him and Hogan, right? And they blurred the lines. Remember, Russo blurred the lines with Kidman and Hogan. You know what I mean? And so, when Kidman cut that scathing promo on Hogan, he mentioned something about his bald spot. You know what I mean? Like he mentioned something. You know what I mean? He mentioned some shit. Hold on. Yeah, somewhere called me. I forgot the thing that he said about Hogan, but he basically he got in Hogan's ass. You know what I mean? He clearly got in Hogan's ass, and it could. I see that. I see Hogan wanted to put Kidman over, but I don't think with Kidman's character work, he wasn't going to get over. But they tried. Kidman to me, and yes, I know about the filthy animals and such, right? But that didn't really fit him. You know what I mean? I think the flock did fit Kidman. You know what I'm saying? I think the flock clearly, that was Kidman's whole shtick. You know what I mean? The 7-year itch and such. Imagine if you take post Billy Kidman, right? You take post Billy Kidman and put him in, in Ring of Honor and TNA and such. The motherfucker clearly would have been a star without a shadow of a doubt. Shit. Billy, fucking, 1998 Billy Kidman against AJ Styles, right? A matter of fact, post Flock Billy Kidman against AJ Styles, right? Post Flock Billy Kidman against, Bryan Danielson. Post Flock Billy Kidman against fucking Samoa Joe, Austin Aries. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been fucking insane. You know what I mean? This is how good Billy Kidman was. You know what I mean? And like, he was really fucking great. You know what I mean? And, he was a cruiserweight. You know what I mean? He was a cruiserweight that was, that could hang with the rest of them. You know what I mean? He basically was, he was one of the staples of that WCW cruiserweight division. You know what I mean? Like, when you had Jericho, you had Malenko, you know what I mean? You had Mysterio. You know what I mean? Kidman was kind of a little bit under that, but he improved. Imagine if he went to ECW. Oh man, forget about it. Like, he would have taught ass in ECW. What? Imagine him and Rob Van Dam, him and Sabu at that time. Oh my fucking God. You know what I mean? Shit. Him and Eddie, there's just a lot of people there, B. Just a lot. Shit, I would have got my Chinese food, you know what I mean? About 4 chickens and fried rice, you know what I mean, with some hot sauce on there. You know what I mean? Just walk, with that VHS, you know what I mean? With the VCR, just enjoying a fucking classic. You know what I mean? That's how good Billy Kidman was. But to me, he was ahead of his time because, you see motherfuckers, also dressing up with, with wife beaters and jeans and shit. Remember, Dean Ambrose, John Moxley when he was in WWE. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I'm about to be out. You know what I'm saying? I hope there's some news. You know what I mean? We still don't know, who's the two major names that people are talking about with AEW and such. We don't know. We should be finding out this week. So I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.